Around the World in 80 Days is Jules Verne's most famous novel that is published in 1873. The story is set in England and we're introduced to the main character, Phileas Fogg, a wealthy, solitary, and married gentleman. No one knows the source of his wealth, but he lives modestly and everyone knows him as a punctual and polite gentleman. He keeps a very strict schedule and appears at the local reform club at the same time every day. In the beginning of the story, Fogg fires James Forster, his old servant, and hires Passepartout. At the reform club on one day, Fogg proposes that he could travel around the world in 80 days, and is challenged by his colleagues to complete the adventure with a bet of £20,000. Fogg leaves at once and takes his new assistant, Passepartout, with him. As they head to Egypt, they're followed and watched closely by Detective Fix, who suspects that Fogg stole a massive amount from a bank in England. Because Fogg matches the description of the robber, Fix believes that Fogg is the criminal. They traveled with no obstacles until they reached India, where the train railroad has not been completed yet. Fogg bought an elephant and they traveled forward. Halfway through the journey, they rescue an Indian woman, Aouda, from getting sacrificed, and she joins them. Fix, the detective, becomes anxious because he knows that he can only arrest Fogg on British soil. Fix tries to stop Fogg from going to America by separating the two in Hong Kong, but they are united in Japan before going to America. They arrive in America and travel by train, but in the Midwest, their train is attacked by Native Americans and Passepartout is taken. Fogg and the crew goes after him, jeopardizing his life and wager. Fogg finally returns with Passepartout and finds that the train is gone. They then travel by a sledge to arrive at New York. This causes a delay and Fogg misses the boat to Liverpool. However, he then controls a small, fast vessel to complete the trip. The boat runs out of coal, so Fogg buys a part of the boat in order to use them as fuel. They arrive in Ireland with enough time to get back to the Reform Club, but Fix suddenly arrests Fogg. This causes a huge delay, and finally, the real robber is found in London and Fogg is released. Fogg hurries to London, believing he's just a little late. He returns to his home and marries Aouda. Then he discovers that he's a whole day early. Fogg goes to Reform Club just in time and wins the wager. An interesting thing about the story is that Fogg loses most of his £20,000 during the trip, so it looks like he didn't gain anything. However, going around the world in just 80 days, Fogg actually gains a lot. Fogg understands the significance of human relationships and gains a loving wife and a loyal servant. Another interesting thing in the story is the Caprice of Time. The story revolves around time as Fogg's wager is his race against time. The story illustrates that time is fickle, either working for or against people. This gives reader a message that no one could control time. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.